It is 00:00. And you are listening to the Best of Bond with your hosts Tylord and Wubbs.
I must say, it's lethal.
To us, Mr. Bond, we are the best.
Sometimes the best is undeniable. Connery did it first, Roger did it 7 times in a row. Brosnan made it look easy. But no one has saved the world more than my friend and co-host, Tylord. He's the
Man, baby!
And he is
the ultimate gentleman spy, irresistible to women, deadly to his enemies, a legend in his own time.
Tylord became a super spy over 3 decades ago, playing Golgo 13 on the Nintendo. So naturally,
women want him and men want to be him.
And while many have tried, he's been unstoppable ever since.
Care to have a little fun?
Care to have a little fun?
No, actually, I have to save the world.
After the success of our last mission, I decided it would be the perfect time to count down Tylord's top 5 James Bond video games. So Tylord, what is your first pick?
Okay, so there's quite a few of them I like, and it was hard to just make 5, just like it is with the Bond girls and the Bond songs. It's hard to only pick 5 because there have been quite a few games. But I had to put this one on this list. It's a game I originally played on Xbox 360, and I loved it. It was a first-person game. It was Quantum of Solace. It switched to like third-person cover, and it had stealth and some puzzles, like electric puzzles, and it sort of followed Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace all in one awesome game. And that was done by Activision's people. I don't know if it was the one that does the Black Ops or the Modern Warfare, but it was an Activision game. I think it may have been Treyarch. Is that what it's called? Treyarch?
Treyarch, yeah. It was.
Yeah, Treyarch did it. It was really fantastic, but that's not the one I'm going to talk about. I don't know if you've heard me mention this before, but I like my Bond games like third person where I can see Bond because they put so much effort into like the detail of the character and the facial models, and they have like the actors scan and all of that, and you know that's my favorite character in media, so I want to see Bond. So there's a PlayStation 2 version of this game done by Eurocom, and I did not know about this up until like the last 5 years. It was exclusively released on PlayStation 2, which was kind of weird because it was 2008. And I didn't even know they were making games at that point on PlayStation 2. Other than like FIFA and Madden and all that, they keep going and going.
Right.
But I recently played it like maybe 4 years ago, and like, wow, this is awesome. It's sort of like how Bloodstone is third person, and it feels more like a 7th gen game. Like there's the cover-based stuff, you pop out and shoot. It felt more like a Gears of War or Uncharted type game, but back on the PlayStation 2. I thought they did really good pushing the system's hardware on this. Eurocom did with Quantum of Solace on PlayStation 2. It didn't have all of the features of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 3 version, but man, I just like seeing Bond there. Like they have a really awesome model of Daniel Craig. He has on like his different outfits throughout the 2 movies. You play through a lot of the same levels as the 360 game, but they're a little bit different. I think some of the areas might be smaller because I don't think PlayStation can handle like the big areas to load them or whatever. But it has some like quick time events and some tough moments too. I really enjoy this game a lot. The last bit of this game, I remember it being difficult on the other game too, where you're trying to shoot General Medrano and he's trying to get to the helicopter or something. I mean, it was really difficult, but a fun game. So it's very similar. I just love like seeing Bond. You play through some of those levels from Casino Royale, like it looks like it's just out of the movie. I love Quantum of Solace on PlayStation 2, the Eurocom version.
That's awesome. I have never played the PlayStation 2 version. Of course, you sent it to me this year, and the PS2. I appreciate it. Haven't gotten around to it yet, but it's definitely on my backlog. I want to play it soon. And it's so cool that you would pick that over the PS3, Xbox 360 version that would have been, technically, I'm sure, much more involved.
Yeah. I probably would have if this thing. Yeah, and if this one didn't exist, I would probably pick that one because it is a really fun game.
It is fun. I played it back in the day. I had that game on PS3, and I loved it. When it came out, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's just Call of Duty 4 with a Bond skin," and I was like, "Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic."
How is that a bad thing?
Right?
Yep.
I mean, Call of Duty 4 at the time was pretty much the standard for FPS games. So, it was like, that's not a bad game to model your film adaptation off of,
Yeah. And didn't am I thinking of Bloodstone, or did that one have like driving segments too?
I didn't play Bloodstone yet, so I'm not sure.
Okay, because I know Bloodstone did, but I was thinking maybe the Xbox version had a driving segment.
Okay, I don't remember a driving segment in the PS3 game. There might have been at some point.
Okay, I don't think there is. Yeah, just like there might be like on rail levels, but no driving.
Right. I love the game though. Even without that, like
it's awesome.
Just for the shooting action system based on COD 4, of course.
It's so good.
It's great. Very fast-paced game too.
Yes.
Like you get right into the action immediately.
Yeah. I remember there was a simple little hack game, like you could use your phone to hack locks, and it was really simple, but it got kind of addicting.
Yeah, right. Like apps. Yeah. Apps were coming, right?
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a little phone app.
Yeah.
But how cool is that? That was probably, getting back to the PS2 game, probably one of the last games made for the PS2, right?
Yeah, I think so. I know it drug on for years, like the FIFA games and the Madden games, I think went on for a while, maybe in other countries.
Right.
But man, I did not realize there was still a game like that in 2008. I guess I was more about Xbox at that point, and I didn't realize it. But,
sure.
Like I would have bought this day one if I knew it was a different game. I just thought it was like, oh, it's gonna be like a crappier version, kind of like the Wii port.
Right. That's what I figured too. I didn't know until you told me that it was a totally different game.
Yeah.
So it was just very cool. And my collection is steadily growing thanks to you. You sent me some of the other PS2 games that I still got to play, Everything or Nothing.
Yeah.
And, what was the other one? Oh, From Russia with Love. And so I really missed a lot of PS2 because I was in college at the time. So that was kind of the issue for me.
I got another one of your favorites should be on the way
cool.
as of this recording. Yeah.
No, nice. Excited. Thank you. We'll see what that is. And well, anything else you want to add about Quantum of Solace for the PS2?
No, just that's a good game to go back to. Probably an overlooked PlayStation 2. I know PlayStation 2 is a lot of people's favorite console. And it actually has the most Bond games of any console playable. If you don't count like a backward compatible PS3,
sure.
PlayStation, of course, you can play 007 Racer, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough. You can play the 3 PlayStation games on your PS2.
Right.
But then not only that, it had Agent Under Fire, it had Nightfire, it had Goldeneye Rogue Agent, From Russia with Love, Everything or Nothing, and then the exclusive 6th-gen version of Quantum of Solace. So it had like 6 games alone on PlayStation 2 to play on it, plus the 3. There's like 9 James Bond games you could play on PS2.
So cool. And Nightfire was a great game too. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But no spoilers for the rest of the list. I did want to say really quickly, one thing I loved about the PS3 version of the game was the fact that you mentioned at the beginning it did include story elements of Casino Royale. with Quantum, and I really appreciated that because Casino Royale is one of my favorite films.
It was awesome to get that. I don't know. Everyone seemed to hate on movie or game adaptations around this time, like, oh, how lame movie tie-in games. But I couldn't get enough of that. If there was a movie I liked, I wanted to play a game of it.
Oh yeah.
And then there wasn't a Casino Royale movie or game, but then we kind of got it with this game, so it made up for it.
It did, and Casino really deserved the game. So I'm really glad they did it with the Quantum games.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, great first pick. What's your next one?
Okay, my next one is another game I came back to recently that I kind of overlooked at the time. My brother-in-law would play it a lot. He's a big FPS guy, and I just sort of overlooked it because I was thinking, oh, it's not as good as another game that's similar to it, so I just overlooked this thing, but I played it recently, and it might be like the best Nintendo 64 game ever made, and that is The World Is Not Enough.
Oh! You pulled the rug out from our listeners right there on that one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one's also made by Eurocom, that did the last game.
Nice.
And I'm talking exclusively the Nintendo 64 version. I did play the PlayStation 2 version, and it's pretty good. Like, there's a lot of things about PS2 that are better than N64, obviously, and they shine in that game. Like, there's sharper textures, and there's CD quality music, and cutscenes from the movie. But other than that, man, this thing just shows you how much more powerful the N64 was than the PlayStation 1. This game pretty much plays like Nightfire with like bigger areas. It's an EA game. I think it's the first person EA game. So a lot of this stuff you see later on in like Agent Under Fire and Nightfire. But it follows the movie loosely. It has some fun moments, similar to Goldeneye, how Goldeneye would go through the movie and just add a bunch of first-person shooting segments and escort segments to it.
Sure.
Kind of similar type game, but this is not by Rare. It's a Eurocom, a EA published game. Really high production value. I don't want to knock Goldeneye at all, but this thing is way more cleaned up. Looks a lot better than Goldeneye. It almost looks like a PS2 game, and like I said, it doesn't have the disc, so some of these areas are huge. It's not like anything you'd see like in a disc game. Even Nightfire, like, these areas are huge. They take liberties and go off the track of the movie at a couple points in the game, and I think even those parts where they go off track from the movie are like some of the best parts of the game. Like, one time at the beginning of the game, you're chasing Cigar Girl through the Thames River, but you end up on foot and you're chasing her, and then all of a sudden there's just like a terrorist situation in the subway when you're on your way trying to catch her. And this game, it feels like Half-Life or something. This level's badass, like you're trying to defuse bombs. There's all these terrorists in the train station. You're trying to avoid the trains. It kind of reminds me of like Skyfall, but this is way before Skyfall.
Sure.
But you're fighting But man, that level just blew me away. Like, wow, this feels like something way ahead of its time, and it's really smooth controls and everything. And then the one level where you take on Davidoff's identification, you're tracking him like through the wilderness, and that's a huge level, and you're fighting a bunch of guys and doing stealth kills, and that's just a huge stage in the game.
Wow.
I have the guide in front of me. I couldn't remember. Oh yeah, then the caviar, the walkways where Valentine's on Valentine's dock. There's an awesome stage there where you're fighting a helicopter and everything. Yeah, I just can't get enough of this game. Like, and I wish I would have played a lot sooner. I remember my brother-in-law he unlocked everything on the game. And another thing too, like the multiplayer on this is fantastic. It has a lot of great big fun maps. You can have like 4 guys at once.
Wow.
Split screen. You can unlock the skins from the game, so any little goofy character you see or NPC, like you can play as them. You can even play as the characters like Renard and Electric King and Little M. You can play in multiplayer, and of course you can be Christmas and all the characters. A lot of the characters. I thought that one guy, Electric King's bodyguard, his name was Gabor. Like he kind of got killed off screen on the movie, and I was hoping for like a fist fight with him and Bond.
Right.
In a movie. Remember, he ran up and he kind of shot at him, and then you just see him like die off screen.
Yep.
You have like a boss. You have a boss fight with him in this one in
nice.
the game.
Yeah, that's better for sure. I played this a little bit with my friend Ryan, Outdoors Embrace. We did a episode, a top 5 episode with him earlier. You can check that out if you're interested. And we played this game when he came to do the recording. I had a blast.
Fun,
we had a blast playing this, 2-player split screen. Yeah. And we were playing against each other, and we were playing against bots. Yeah. That's the other thing that's really cool about the multiplayer in this one. You can go against the bots.
Yeah. Yeah, and then kind of like Perfect Dark.
Right.
I kind of like that little hedge maze. It was kind of like a throwback to from Rest of the Love. There was a little hedge maze, multi-player map. Yeah.
Yes, it's very cool. And I didn't play this one much when I was a kid because I guess it was by this point I was more into PlayStation. I had the N64 and Goldeneye, of course, and I loved it. But I think I gave it to one of my friends because I just got more into the PlayStation. And I wanted to mention the game Siphon Filter. You made me think of Siphon Filter when you were describing the terrorists in the subway area.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
yes.
Because Siphon Filter starts out with terrorists in the DC subway. Fantastic intro sequence. Still one of my favorite third-person shooters of all time.
Yeah.
And
just
that's a game that really, gosh, boy, that takes me back to just like these other ones. But on the PlayStation, of course, not the 64. They're not nearly as graphically impressive as what you're talking about now. Like you said, they really cleaned up what they'd done with Goldeneye for this one graphically.
The mission I was thinking of, Mission 6, Night Watch, where you're sneaking around and it's a big map, and I was a big fan of Splinter Cell in the Xbox generation.
Yes.
So man, I didn't know there was a game like this before that, because you're sneaking around, you have your night vision. You're sneaking around you're sneaking around trying to like tap the phones and everything and do all this spy stuff. Like, this is such a cool big level with no load areas.
Right.
Mission 6, and then the one I liked was Mission 7, the Midnight Departure, and that's a huge map. Cool. I have the strategy guide. I might send you a picture of the map and show you like how big the map is, but it's like a really fun level.
Sure. I'll try to find these levels for the video footage for the episode, so people can see it. You're making me want to play more of it. I got to play it, like I said, with Ryan a little bit, but I haven't played the campaign yet. So I really want to play the campaign now. Yeah. I love it when they take something like that, right? They take the movie or whatever the thing is they're adapting, and then they add new stuff to it that just makes it better.
Yes. Yeah, some of it they stay kind of accurate. Like I was going to mention the last level, you're actually on the submarine and it's like nose down and you're swimming down there to get to Renard. Like, and it's kind of like disorientate because there's no axis like Y-X, or you just don't know what's up and down at some point because you're going around through this submarine that's sunk. And you're swimming around, so it's like a full 3D environment, and you have to hold your breath and find air pockets. It's a pretty cool final level in this game.
That's awesome. It sounds pretty unique compared to some of the others too.
Yeah.
Wow. So, anything else you'd like to add about The World Is Not Enough for the N64?
No, just that I wish it would get a re-release somehow so more people could play it. But it's a pretty darn cheap game. If anyone has an N64, I would definitely try this if you haven't already. I know there's all kinds of there's a lot of messiness going on with the Bond rights, and there's like EA is involved, and I don't know, and then it went on to Activision. I don't know who owns it now, but so I don't know if these games could ever be re-released, but I wish they would, like in a compilation or something.
Yeah, that would be really cool to get a compilation of all the 90s games and the aughts.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, or, you know, remakes of any of them, frankly, would be really cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were talking about that, too, recently, that how cool it would be if we could get Pierce Brosnan to reprise his role as Bond in a game, you know? Like,
in a new game,
New game. That'd be so cool.
You know, yeah, just like this new Indiana Jones game, I really recommend that. I wish like someone would put as much effort as these developers put into the Indiana Jones game. I wish that amount of effort would be put into a new Bond game. It would be fantastic. And maybe get Pierce Brosnan to reprise his role.
Yeah, that would be so amazing. And you know they've got to have stories and things they planned for another film for him.
Yeah.
There's got to be something that they could pull from to make another game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope that happens. Well, all right, so that was your second pick, or I'm sorry, your fourth pick. What's your third pick?
Okay. I already mentioned it, and I couldn't put The World Is Not Enough above this one. I got Goldeneye.
All right.
For the N64 by Rare.
I think everybody just breathed a big sigh of relief, Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. But, yeah, he thought I was going to leave it off the list. I was gonna, but, how can you not put this? This is the one that, like, made Bond popular with non-Bond fans. Like, everyone loved James Bond after this game.
Yep.
I think it increased the popularity of the movie. Like, that's a lot of people's favorite movie, probably because they played the game. But it's a great movie, too. But a lot of people's introduction to James Bond, like kids, like maybe a little bit younger than us, it was Goldeneye.
Right. Well, I you know, Goldeneye was the first film I saw that was one of the new ones, right? I saw some of the Connery films, and I saw a part of The Man with the Golden Gun, but Goldeneye was the first new film that I saw. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's such a wonderful, warm place in my heart. I went and saw it at the theater with my dad, like, opening day, and it looked so cool on the big screen. But then I think this game didn't come out until 97, which was a couple years after the movie was released. And this game had no right being as good as it was. Yeah. You thought this was just going to be one of those games like Mission Impossible, like everyone craps on it, like, oh, it's just going to be one of those movie tie-in games. But developed by Rare, which are established good developers. I guess it originally was they were designing it to be an on-rail shooter, which thank God they didn't do that. Yeah.
Because this thing is so smooth and clean for like an early console FPS. It's so clean and smooth. I still go back and play it with my old controller, and it feels very smooth. Probably not compared to new Call of Duties or whatever, but thinking this is like the first generation of fully 3D consoles, and then they drop something like this with big environments and freedom to go anywhere you want, and all your bullets would leave marks on the wall, like and the enemies would react to bullets, like they get little red spots on their body wherever you stop them. Yeah, a wonderful recreation of the first pre-title sequence on the dam. Among other things, some of my favorite levels in gaming are this, like the control. I know we complain about the control being so hard. Like, it's so fun. That level is so fun.
Yeah.
And then the train level, I love that, where you encounter 006 and Oromov and Natalia at the end of the train level, and you fight through each car one at a time, taking out all the Russians.
Yep.
You get on the tank. Yeah, the tank levels. There's a couple levels where you get on tank. So cool. Yeah. Then not only that, but I didn't even mention like the the biggest draw to this game is the multiplayer. You could do 4-player split screen co-op multiplayer. And I think this is probably the best multiplayer you could get as far as a shooter back then at the time. So many fun maps, so many fun weapons, so many different scenarios. You could get the golden gun. Another thing I love about this game, my favorite movie, Moonraker, is incorporated into this. It's almost like Moonraker 2 at the end of this. You go back to Drax Pyramid, and you go through the launch site in Moonraker. You fight Jaws. Man, so cool. Not only that, you get skins of other classic characters like Oddjob and Baron Samedi and
Valentine.
I think that was it, right?
I think you can be Valentine, right?
Yeah, he was. No, he might have been on the later ones.
Oh, I'm thinking of World's Not Enough. Yeah.
Yeah, World Enough. You could be. Yeah, that's another thing I forget. You could be Valentine in that. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, this one so fun though. Like I just can't. The last level is really challenging, and it's like an epic showdown with you and Alec Trevelyan on the satellite. I think that's a really cool level too. It's really tough. Like when you first play, you don't know what to do. It's really overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the levels towards the end, if you play it on like Agent or Double O or Secret Agent or Double O Agent, they almost seem near darn impossible. But super fun.
Yeah, I've never beaten them. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever beaten the control on Double O.
I can't. No, I can't do it either.
Yeah.
I can't beat it on Double O. Yeah.
I'd have to go back and I was trying to do it with Secret Agent for a long time. Just recently, because they re-released it on Game Pass, right? They did the sort of the HD upgrade a little bit. Like it's better looking and smoother than it's ever been with frame rates.
Yeah, and that's another miracle right there. That's the last game I ever thought would see a re-release because Nintendo was tied to it and Rare and the owners of James Bond, but we got it. Like we got to be thankful for that.
I really am. I played through the whole game again when it got on Game Pass a few years ago, and loved every second of it. And I beat a bunch on Secret Agent and a few on Double O, but I didn't really, I don't have the time that I had when I was a kid.
No,
really
I can't
throw myself into it.
It's hard enough. Yeah, it's hard enough on the lower settings, that control.
Control is really challenging. I was going to mention as well the frigate level is one that was a fun spin-off. Since you don't really, he's not on the boat very much in the movie, but they made that a whole thing for the, you save the hostages on the frigate, and it's a cool level. I love the silo too for the same reason.
The silo's awesome,
Yeah. You're going through the Russian silo and the facility. The facility, I think, is great as well. And really, the whole game is fantastic, right? There's not like a bad level.
Yeah, I can't think of a low point.
Yeah.
No way.
But I love facility in particular because I feel like it is so true to the movie. It very much feels like him going through the facility in the opening. And all the way to the chase at the end with the plane. Yeah, you could tell. Like, I think the developers may have had some behind-the-scenes visits to the movie I'm pretty sure they made it before, or they had some behind-the-scenes knowledge of it or whatever. Yeah. Absolutely. So Goldeneye, man. I mean, we could probably talk about Goldeneye all day. It's such a big game, and just the amount of time I spent as a kid playing multiplayer with my friends. We probably played more 4-player Goldeneye. The only thing that would have come close is Mario Kart. I don't know if we would have played more Mario Kart or Goldeneye. It would be a toss-up.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
But we loved those games when I was a kid. Still do. So and frankly, the remake they did for the Wii was just not or the PS3 and the Wii. I don't think it could even touch the original for quality.
No, Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with that. Like, I think it is a pretty cool game, though. I just don't like how they have to change everything. Me and Omega Ace were just talking about that, how it's kind of annoying how they changed all the actors.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have never changed the
Yeah.
break for that. That just felt so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff I like about that. It's a fun game, like it's paced pretty well. And I do like the music. They got David Arnold to compose the soundtrack, so it's better. I'm sorry, it's better than your than your what's his name?
Yeah, I forget. The guy who did the soundtrack to Goldeneye.
How'd I forget his name? He did like within Nikita and
right. I'm
and
blanking
Fifth
on
Element. How did I forget his name? And he did that terrible song at the end of
Eric
Goldeneye.
Serra. Eric Serra.
Eric, yeah, our boy Eric Serra.
Yeah. Right.
He has some pretty cool. He has some pretty cool soundtracks. So that's Eric Serra. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. For Goldeneye for sure. I had to have that on the list.
Absolutely. Excellent pick. I don't think anyone will have anything bad to say about that. So, what is your second pick then?
Okay, so it's a toss-up between this and another one I'm going to mention next for number one. But I had to put this in. I spent so much time playing this game. This was like the game made for me. I was so hyped for the release of this game. And it turned out to be just as awesome as my hype, as my anticipation for it. And that is Everything or Nothing, which was released on Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. And I think I played through every single version of it. The version I had at the time was Xbox, because I had an Xbox and it looks way better. Everything runs so much faster and smoother and more effects on the Xbox version. But you can't go wrong with any version. I think I just on Retro Wave podcast I just gloated about this game for my top Xbox games for like 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So we might be here a long time. I'll try to mention something different. I think I covered it pretty well in that. But wow, this is like the fifth Pierce Brosnan movie. It's its own unique story, starring Pierce Brosnan. It has his likeness, it has his voice. It's got Judi Dench in there. It's got John Cleese as Q. So it has all the MI6 regulars. On top of that, it has like real actors playing parts in this that are not just like voice actors playing a made-up character. If they have scanned actors in this. The bad guy is played by Willem Dafoe. His name is Nikolai Diavolo, and he's a disciple of Max Zorin. So there's a lot of Roger Moore movie ties in with this game. Jaws is actually a boss. He's one of Diavolo's henchmen. So you get to fight boss. Of course, Jaws never dies, so you fight him in one boss fight early in the game. You think he's dead. He comes back, you fight him again in a later boss fight.
No wonder you love this one so much.
Next time I take the stairs.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Heidi Klum is in there as a girl. Shannon Elizabeth from the American Pie is like the main Bond girl in this.
Wow.
There's some other actors in there too. This just feels like a movie with and a Bond game combined, and it plays more like Metal Gear Solid or Gears of War than GoldenEye. It's a cover-based shooter. He has his rappel gun where you get up to high places. Kind of reminds me of the new Indiana Jones game with his whip.
Wow.
Like he used the whip to get up to a lot. But he has his rappel gun. You would see the same thing like with his rappel watch in some of the earlier games. Mm-hmm. But he has a rappel gun. You can get up to high places. He always has little one-liners. Yeah, he has one-liners. There's like Bond moments. You have so many objectives for every level, and if you meet all of them, you get like a platinum rating. So there's like Bond moments you have to fulfill, or you can choose to fulfill throughout levels. Some of them are like doing something in a slick way or using one of your gadgets. One of my favorite Bond moments in this game is he's sneaking into a club through someone's hotel room, and it's a woman waiting to be massaged. She's just laying there waiting to massage, and Bond walks by her and massages her.
I want the full treatment today. Give me everything. Oh my. We've learned a few new tricks, haven't we? Could you be a dear and get me a drink, please?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But another good thing about it is like it transitions so well. There's so many different kinds of game types. It's a third-person shooter at heart, but you can do stealth stuff. You can take him down, sneak up from behind, take him down. You can use gadgets. He has a little Q spider that you can send through like holes or tight areas, and you can send it to go unlock doors or blow up an enemy that's hiding around the corner. He has a thermal vision and night vision. He has sleeper darts. He has explosive coins, like these coins he can throw. They're like grenades. He can flick them over and blow up people. You unlock more and more gadgets for both your car and Bond as the game progresses. So I said cars. There are a lot of racing levels. There's sort of GTA style levels where you're in the city and you have to do objectives. When you're in the Aston Martin or a motorcycle, or there's one motorcycle level where you're chasing Jaws down the freeway, and Jaws is in a big rig and you're chasing him down on a motorcycle. And your motorcycle has gadgets, like you can shoot flames out of the side of it. A lot of open-ended like driving levels in this. A lot of variety of gameplay. One of my favorites is at one point the bad guy throws your girlfriend off of a cliff, and then you jump off the cliff, and the level is you're falling down the face of the cliff, avoiding like rocks. And you're trying to catch your girl and use your rappel gun before she hits the ground.
Wow. Very Spider-Man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't want to give it all away because you got to play this. It kind of gets challenging too. But what I like about it is the levels are all pretty small. There's a ton of levels in this. There might be darn near 20 stages or missions. Yeah, but they're all pretty compact and short, small areas. But it doesn't take away from the game. Like they feel like big, like a lot of high production sets, like very detailed. And the character model of Pierce Brosnan looks super detailed. It's probably like one of the best I've ever seen. And he has like his different outfits on. He has like the tactical outfit or the beige blazer he wears a lot. Yeah, really cool stuff. Like I said, it feels like a Roger Moore movie, like in a video game form.
Yeah, that's pretty cool since we never got a Roger Moore game.
Yeah, I know. I guess I was hearing rumors that the developers of this and From Russia with Love were going to do a Spy Who Loved Me game, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Wow,
but, that would have been.
That would be. Could you imagine now if they did that with? How would they do it? An AI reproduction of Roger Moore's voice, maybe? Or
yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be so awesome. Yeah.
That would be so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they could get some guy that sounds like him, like that guy that just did Harrison's Ford. I keep bringing up Indiana Jones, but that new video game,
right?
That guy they got, I think it's Troy Baker, the guy that does all the big video games. He just sounds exactly like Harrison Ford. Like I would know it wasn't Harrison Ford, and he says a lot of lines in that. They could probably find someone like that can do a good Roger Moore.
It's fantastic.
Impression.
Yeah, I'm sure that we could get somebody like that. For sure. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what a cool pick. This is another one you sent me that, like I said, it's I will play that once I get the PS2 fixed up and running.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to do a more in-depth review at some point.
Oh heck yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love to replay through this again. It's been a while. I used to play through it all the time. Like, I just go back and replay levels. There's one level, like in a big plantation mansion. It reminded me of A View to a Kill. I would just play that level over and over and over. And the last stage is pretty tough. It's like in a big warehouse. And so many enemies are coming at you. It's so fun. Another thing I wanted to mention was multiplayer in this. It's not like GoldenEye multiplayer, but they have almost like a Power Stone type thing where all the characters are like battling out on one screen.
Uh-oh.
I didn't play much of it, but that just shows all the variety in this game. On top of that, there's an extra campaign that's a 2-player co-op campaign, kind of like Gears of War before Gears of War. And I was hoping someday me and you could get together.
Yeah.
Or someone, because there's no way to play it online. It's a totally different story, different levels from the main game, but you play as 2 different agents.
Okay.
Bond. You can pick between like 5 or 6 agents. None of them are Bond. There's like a girl and like a big buff dude and different MI6 agents.
Cool.
You could pick from it and do a co-op. You kind of have to work together to do like little puzzles, sort of like RE5 or Gears of War.
Sure.
But man, that was before all those games. Yeah, so I'd love to go back and play that with someone again.
I would love to do that too. We'll have to do that when we meet up for a game convention or something sometime.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just plan to take a week or 2 and be on the West Coast or something. We can play these games. And we'll do an episode. We can do a live episode probably together, or we could at least record something to commemorate the time. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
But before that, I think you might have to beat the game to unlock that. So you got to beat the single player game first.
Well, I'm sure you've already beaten it like 10 times, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no, I still have all my old saves. Yeah.
Nice. So, does it play? I was going to ask you about these PS2 games. They play significantly better on a PS3 or not really?
Oh, that's a good reason to have one of those backward compatible PS3 so you can play with like the HDMI on a new television set. I think they look pretty darn good, and I don't know. It seems like they might. I couldn't say one way or another. They might load a little faster and run a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you for sure.
But it's not a major improvement or anything over the old
I don't know.
hardware.
It looked pretty good recently. But from my memories of playing this game looked like a 10 out of 10 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I know if I went back and played it on the CRT, it wouldn't, because from playing all these new games, it probably wouldn't look that good.
Right.
From playing it on my PS3 with HDMI, I thought it looked pretty darn good now.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's cool. So, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I look forward to playing it at some point and doing the exclusive co-op mode with you in person. That would be a blast.
Yeah.
So, wow. Anything else you want to add about Everything or Nothing? Well, let's say that the theme song was awesome, right? Maya doing the
Yes,
the
that's
song.
another thing. Yeah, Maya theme song. I love that. Oh, it's so awesome. I forgot to mention the game starts off with a gun barrel, a new original score. Pierce Brosnan walks out with a gun barrel. Bam! It goes right into the tutorial, so it teaches you how to play the game on like a little mission at the beginning. But then once you complete the tutorial, it goes off to the opening title sequence, the Maya song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always loved that song, and she's in the game too, right?
Yeah, she's a character. You can actually rescue her during a boss fight. It's a pretty fun level.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you this game had like movie level production.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah, I always felt like this was if you played this without watching Die Another Day, you would think, man, this is super like out there. Like it's about like nanomite. It's about like nanomites. These ones they can eat all metal, so it can eat through like a whole city. These nanomites that Willem Dafoe has his weapon, his diabolical scheme. So if you just played this, like, man, this is super corny even compared to a Bond movie, but not if you just watch Die Another Day. It just fits in very well with Die Another Day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know how much I enjoy that one, so I could easily... Yeah. That's what we'll do. We'll get together and watch Die Another Day, then play the game.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, we've come to it, I think, Tyler. Your number one pick.
Okay. Man, I just can't pick anything but this. This game was made for me. Like, I don't know if there was a market for this. I'm sure a lot of people wanted this, but man, this is just like the game I wanted all my life. Like, and I can't believe it came out in the year 2005. A game based on a movie from 1963 with like my favorite actor, like one of my favorite movies of all time. All of a sudden, there's a video game of it in 2005, From Russia with Love, which was released on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Same developers as the last one I mentioned.
Right, published by EA.
Yeah, published by EA. And I think it was Redwood Studios for EA division did it. Same as Everything or Nothing. And this is just, as much as I love Everything or Nothing, this is like the same game, but they cleaned it up even more. It's like the same game, but it's based around From Russia with Love, so it's set in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby! Yeah!
Ow! And Sean Connery is in it, and they even got old Sean Connery to voice him.
May I help you?
A dry martini. Shaken, not stout.
Wow.
Is that like a miracle? Is that a miracle or no?
Absolutely. That's a Christmas miracle right there.
Oh.
This is after he had sworn off acting. He was out of the industry.
Yeah.
He had done the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and he had it, right? That was it.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Wow, can you imagine this?
Just
I think it maybe. Well, I don't know how much money or what dirt they had on him. I know From Russia with Love was his favorite.
Was it?
From Russia with Love was his favorite movie, so maybe that's why he did it, like for nostalgia. I remember he always said that was his favorite movie.
Yep.
But man, this game, same type of formula as Everything or Nothing, but it's set based on From Russia with Love, the movie. Of course, like The World Is Not Enough, it goes off the beaten path, but some of those levels are awesome. It takes a lot of stuff, not only from Russia with Love, but it takes stuff from Goldfinger. You get levels in the Aston Martin,
nice,
with the gadgets. You get the jetpack from Thunderball. What else? You get to go to a volcano layer where the final boss fight. You go to like a volcano layer.
Nice. Does he meet
What's
Dr. Evil there or Blofeld?
You know, your eyes for you only live twice.
Yeah,
but no, surprisingly, in the main story mode, Blofeld's not in it. Oh no, he is, but you don't see him.
Right.
Just like the
Just
movie.
like the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if he might not even be in it. It's mostly just Rosa Klebb and Grant, and the guy they got to do Grant's voice sounds just like Robert Shaw.
Oh, nice.
Same with Tatiana and Rosa Klebb. But there's a new, like, they added a new, like, sexy femme fatale character that's like an evil Russian agent. She has, like, a skin tight. She kind of looks like Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Oh, sweet.
You venal mercenary. Your acting couldn't get you onto a soap opera.
But, yeah, so they added a lot of stuff, like, you do a lot of driving around Istanbul in the Aston Martin with Karim Bey. The guy they got to do Karim Bey is awesome. Like, it sounds just like him.
Wow. That's cool.
But this one's even more seamless than Everything or Nothing. Like, you can just transition from inside the car, get out, you're on foot, you have a gun, you could be shooting, you could go fist fight just like the other one, but there aren't different like load areas. Like, it's all one engine in this. It's really good. Like you just go get in the car, drive to your next objective, kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You get out, you go start fighting with Russians or sometimes Spectre agents. You kill a lot of Russians in this. I'm surprised. It seemed like you would break out World War III just from this game. Like in the movie, he didn't really kill that many Russians other than like Krylenko's men.
Yep.
Or those were like the men working for the Russians. But you kill a lot of Russians in it.
Who you at this time, boy? Tommy, let's go get him. I'm with you all the way.
And then I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 4. It almost feels like Resident Evil 4 influenced this game a lot just by like the pacing and the level design.
Well, that's so interesting, right? Because they came out in the same year, right?
Yeah. I know this one came out after,
mm-hmm.
but but I could see influence. Like there's a giant like Gatling gun, or kind of like the guy in Resident Evil 4. Like there's a big like. First, there's a Russian version of him, and then there's a Spectre version of him at the end, like a big giant like tank of a man that's has a couple of has 1 or 2 Gatling guns. Kind of reminds me of the Gatling gun boss from Resident Evil 4.
Oh, nice.
That's another. Speaking of Spectre, this is the thing where they didn't have the right to Blofeld yet. Like that whole Kevin McClory thing hadn't blown over yet or been settled.
Right.
The Thunderball thing. So they couldn't use Spectre or Blofeld, but so they called it Octopush.
Yeah.
So you always hear Sean Connery saying, "Oh, it's an Octopus agent."
I can't wait to hear that. That's gonna be hilarious.
Oh yeah, but I do know there is a multiplayer which I've never played much because I didn't really have too many people interested in this at the time. I played the game like on hardest setting, like all the way through many times.
Right.
I love this game so much. It's a really solid game, even if you don't like Bond. Like the graphics are top notch. It almost looks like a 7th gen game.
Wow.
And the gameplay is impeccable. Really good. But there is a multiplayer, third-person multiplayer battle type mode, and I always wanted to play it because you can unlock a bunch of characters. Like I think, like you can play as Grant and all of them, and the guy that Walter Gatell plays, like I don't know if he has a name on the movie, but he's like the big guy after Blofeld.
Mm-hmm.
You can play as him.
Right.
I think you can even play as Kronstein, I think.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think you can play as Kralenko, and but there is a model you could play Blofeld in there, but it's of all people it's Charles Gray Blofeld.
Well, why wouldn't it be, right? That's hilarious.
That's
perfect.
Yeah, so I always wanted to play the multiplayer, but I had no one to play it with. So maybe we can get together and play this.
Oh yeah, I would love to do the multiplayer on this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking at the game right now on the one you sent me. On the back, it looks like you can get vehicles in multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
That.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never really played much of it.
That's what it looks like here.
Yeah.
So, and it can be 4-player if you've got the multi-tap. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. No, this would be fantastic. Imagine you, me, and Omega get together and we play this at a convention. You know.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
The hotel. That'd be awesome.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way.
We're on a mission from God.
Oh yeah, we got to. There's just so many, and it's set in the 60s, so there's so much 60s-ness going. Oh yeah, a lot of times. Oh, you actually fight the helicopter. Remember, Bond has to fight with a helicopter.
Yeah.
But you do it inside of like the Istanbul Station T, like it like it invades. You know, like when they bomb Kerem Bey, like they try to bomb him at his desk.
Sure.
That whole thing turns in. They blow it out into this huge like battle royal at Station T, and like a helicopter comes down and you're fighting. It's always funny. And there's the gypsy fight scene. That's probably my favorite level of the game, the gypsy fight segment, where Kralenko and his men attack. Yeah, but it's always funny to hear Sean Connery say something like video game-ish, like a very video game line, like, I'll take out those turrets, or we gotta take out those turrets. But before we can take out the men, we gotta take out that turret.
Oh my god. This has got to be great. All right. So, what are your favorite parts of the game then?
Oh, definitely the gypsy fight scene. You know what? A low-key good moment in the game is the opening, like, kind of tutorial where you actually get to play as Bond and you go to the M's office and he tells you about the plot. Like, it kind of you're playing through the movie, but you're interactive. Like, you can actually be inside the old MI6 headquarters from the 60s. So you go into M's office and he tells you about Tatiana. I've never even heard of a Tatiana Romanova. But they have They have an M there, and he's in his office. Then you can go down to Q's lab. I think you walk out his office, you talk to Moneypenny. Then you go down to Q lab, and you do a couple training courses down in Q's lab, and he gives you your gadgets. Wow. That's all cool.
That's awesome.
But then there's the hedge maze opening where you don't play as Bond, you play as the guy disguised as Bond. You play through the hedge maze, you get to the end, and then Robert Shaw kills you. So many good moments from the movie. There's all that good stuff, like the little boat chase on the Mediterranean was pretty cool in the game. There's like some on-rail shooting segments and some boat racing segments, chasing, and then all the stuff where you're driving around Istanbul is really good. What else? The gypsy fight's good, of course. You can sneak into the Russian embassy and steal the Lecter. That's a cool level. What else? There's but I mean, some of the levels, like on the other game that weren't even in the movie, are some of the best. Like there's the volcano layer at the end. Really cool level, and then there's this like one factory level where you sneak into this factory, and it's just like kind of a big map. A lot of sneaking around to do. I really like that one too.
Did they base it on the volcano and You Only Live Twice?
It kind of has that same like Ken Adam look, but I don't think it's exactly like that. But kind of like the head, the main like hub, kind of looks like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent.
Wow. So, and the voice acting, the music was all really good, I assume.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, I was hoping they would have just used John Barry's score, but they had like a new composer redo a lot of it and add new stuff. It sounds pretty darn good. A couple of the tracks, like you can tell the guy's really trying to do John Barry. Like one of the tracks, like when you're sneaking around, it really has that laser beam vibe from Goldfinger.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I see on the back of the cover here too, you get his white jacket from Goldfinger.
Yes, yeah, you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing. You can switch out his costumes in this on the fly. Like sometimes you can put disguise on, like you're a Russian officer. Another thing that reminds me a lot of the new Indiana Jones game, because in that one, like Jones will put on like a Nazi outfit or a fascist outfit or dress up like a priest in the Vatican. It reminds me a lot of that. Like the new Indiana Jones game kind of was using stuff from Russia with Love.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, anything else you'd like to add about From Russia with Love for the PlayStation 2?
No, just that it's very inexpensive. If anyone wants to get this game, there's all kinds of ways to play it. GameCube, Xbox, or PlayStation 2. I think a lot of people still have their old PlayStation 2s, and if you're lucky, if you have the backward-compatible PS3, this is a very inexpensive game.
And
so if to get a hard copy of it, yeah.
Hard copy. I was wondering if do they sell these digital? Because I haven't seen them digital.
No, I wish. So that's what I don't think it'll ever be released to, because it's EA and they don't own it anymore.
I see.
So there's a lot of. It would be really awesome if someone could, since they already have Sean Connery's voice, if someone could like remake this game,
right?
And they could add Spectre. They could add Spectre back into it and make it clean it up.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Well, you've given me a lot to play here on my backlog, so thank you for that. Sending me the games and telling me about them in our interview here. And we'll be doing more, I guess, soon with. Well, you've got Live and Let Die dropping today, right? Probably.
Yes, that'll be dropped. I'll be done with it today, but hopefully by the time that this video is released, it'll be out. I've been saying that for a while.
Right.
I've been getting caught up with all these video games.
Right, and that's good too. You gotta, don't want to get burned out on making videos. It's easy to do. I love it, but you got to take time to actually play some games and watch some movies.
Yeah.
And enjoy
Christmas. I can't wait for it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what were you looking forward to? The Spy Who Loved Me?
Oh yes, we'll be doing that soon. That might be one of our first review recordings in the new year.
Right.
And as much as I'm looking forward to it, I don't want it to be over. So I'm kind of, I don't want it to happen because it'll be over. It'll be over soon.
Well, you get For Your Eyes Only right after that. So
yeah,
that's not so terrible.
And my favorite, Moonraker.
Right, Moonraker. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Moonraker's actually right after. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Oh, how could I skip that?
Because the movie fools you. The end of Spy Who Loved Me, it says Bond will return, and For Your Eyes Only, so it fools you.
Right. That makes sense now. That's been that's been programmed in there from childhood. I've seen that movie like 100 times. All the way through. So, well, Ty Lord, thank you so much for joining me for this countdown. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to play the games that I haven't played, and the others that I have played were great picks. So, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's so fun to gloat about James Bond games, especially with you, because I know you know what everything I'm talking about. Like we're so in tune with each other when it comes to like Bond lore and geeky obscure Bond stuff.
I feel like I'm talking to myself a lot in these interviews.
Who are you? I'm you 10 minutes from now. Damn it, you are handsome. I was just thinking the same. We are sexy. We are sexy bitches. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's great. Have a great day, everybody. And do you expect me to talk more?
Oh, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
See reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface and never a shadow. On the wind I feel his breath. Goldeneye, I found his weakness. Goldeneye will do what him please. Goldeneye, no time for sweetness, but a bitter kiss will bring him to his knees. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child. You'll never know how it feels to be the one who's left behind. You'll never know the days and nights, the tears I've cried. But now my time has come, and time is not on your side. See him move through smoke and mirrors, feel his presence in the crowd. Other girls, they gather around him. If I had him, I wouldn't let him out. Goldeneye, not lace or leather. Golden chain, take him to the spot. Goldeneye, I'll show him forever. It'll take forever to see what I've got. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child. You'll never know how it feels to get so close will be tonight. It's a golden honey trap. Go for you tonight. Revenge, it's a kiss. This time I won't miss. Now I've got you in my sights. With a golden eye. Golden, golden eye. Golden
Well done, boys. Another successful mission. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this debriefing, please like and share it with your friends.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.